Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Our Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give you a guide for level 15 escalation challenge. And I have to point out that I have possibly the worst and least optimal team for this, but I just don't have any other or better options, and somehow I managed to just barely squeeze through level 16, but I would need a lot more DPS for level 17, and my setup can only carry me so far. Odin is weak to physical earth and he will attack you with wind attacks, and you also have a sigil phase at the beginning of the battle, and the amount of sigils will keep increasing with higher escalation levels. But Odin is a physical boss and all his attacks will be physical and infused with wind, so you'll need to boost your physical defense, and you might also want to get some wind resistance as well. And you also can and will have to debuff his physical attack, and because he is weak to physical damage, you might also want to decrease his physical defense to do more DPS. But Odin will have a force gauge that you have to deplete with earth damage, but I don't recommend breaking it too quickly, and instead of wait until his countdown is almost finished, because as soon as you deplete that Zantetsu gauge, Odin will permanently buff his physical attack. And you also sometimes inflict stop on one of your characters, temporarily locking them out of the battle, and also will have a single target attack, and you always target the character with the highest current HP. Because we need physical earth DPS, our only option right now is Yuffie, or I'm pretty sure that we'll see a physical earth arcanum on one of those upcoming anniversary banners as alternative and upgrade, but it will be a limited banner, and for higher levels you need OB6 at the very least, so it'll be either Yuffie or the new character with limited banner as two options. But until we see that next Earth Arcanum banner, the ideal setup for this battle would be Yuffie with Angeal and Aerith, and Yuffie with her Earth Arcanum outfit, Big PP Earth DPS weapon, and then either Bahamut for stats or Rebirth weapon with Exploit weakness, and Angeal with Type 91200 to break Diamond Sigil and debuff physical attack, and then either Greatsword to debuff physical defense or Shinra Greatsword to debuff earth resistance. And then of course Earth Materia with Sigils, the ones that we are gifted with Earth Potency, and then ideally Aerith with Baharut and Kamura, but I think Matt with Centipede and Bramble Spine to buff physical attack could be also used as an alternative. However, I don't have anything for Yuffie, as I have never pulled on any of her banners, so I don't have her Earth Arcanum outfit, and her weapon is still quite low boosted, so I won't be also pulling any more on anniversary banners either. And from the fortune tellings, I have seen Cloud and Sephiroth won't be getting any banner anytime soon, at least not until this escalation challenge ends, so it means this is my best and only thing I have for this boss, which is garbage because Odin has increased magic resistance. So I have Cloud, Sephiroth and Aerith, and Cloud is more of a support and debuffer. Sephiroth is my only DPS with magic earth damage, and Aerith is my healer and buffer. So let's pretend Cloud is Angeal, Sephiroth is Yuffie, and Aerith is, well, Aerith or Mats, but this is my team and I can just barely go through level 15, and then level 16 is even worse, and level 17 you actually need physical DPS here, not magic, as far as you could push it. Maybe with Vincent, I'm not sure, I don't have Vincent either. Aerith has Bahamut outfit with Breath of the Earth, Baharut for Pidove buff and heals, and I have Crimson stuff to buff Sephiroth, but ideally you want Kamura to buff physical DPS, or Matt with Centipede and Bramble Spine to buff Yuffie, then Princess Guard for extra AEB, single target Cura, and Bravery for Cloud, but if you have physical attack buffing weapon, you can just use it as a stat stick, and I also have Quake X materia, but you can use any other stat stick as well if you know that Aerith will be put to sleep through the sigil phase. And then in sub-equipment slots, Aerith has Terra Rod for HP and 2 guild weapons with physical defense for allies. And also Aerith has the highest HP, so ideally she gets targeted by Odin. Cloud has Bahamut outfit with Climb Hazard, Baha Sword for DPS and Mystic Sword to debuff physical attack. And ideally you would have here Angeal instead with Type 91 to debuff physical attack and Break Diamond Sigil, and his other sword with debuff earth resistance or physical defense. But I have Cloud and also Buster Sword and Earth Material with X Sigil and 2 physical defense stat sticks. And in sub-equipment slots, Cloud has a guild weapon with physical defense for allies, a weapon with magic attack for allies to boost Sephiroth, and Fafnir for HP and physical defense. Lastly, I have Sephiroth with his All Arcanum outfit and Titan, Blue Bramble for Earth DPS and Odin's Sword for Exploit Weakness, Genji, Earth Material with X Sigil and 2 stat sticks with physical defense. And then in sub-equipment slots, Sephiroth has Parasol for HP, Razor Ring for extra Earth potency and Protector's Blade for extra magic attack and magic ability potency. But of course, ideally you would have here Yuffie with Earth Arcanum outfit and her Earth DPS weapon, and then either Bahamut or Rebirth weapon to increase DPS, and then in sub-equipment slots a weapon with HP, and then everything else to increase her Earth potency and physical attack. But your DPS should ideally have the lowest HP so that they never get targeted by those single target attacks or stop. Alright, Odin, and first with your DPS you have one action, so you can use it to attack or buff or debuff, but with Aerith you have to buff physical defense, and with Cloud or Angeal you have to debuff physical attack. And ideally, if you can debuff it with high potency, it will be even better because you'll take less damage. But my Sephiroth will survive, but it'll be very close. Yeah, it's very close, but still fine. But here, watch this sword animation, and when you see him swinging, you can do one action. So when you actually time it, you can break 1 diamond sigil with it. So it'll take you less ADB to break all of those sigils, but make sure that when you start breaking those sigils, your command gauge is maxed. So you can actually do it because the sigil place is pretty close, especially if you don't have any weapons that have a sigil boost. But here just continue doing DPS and of course heal, but this Ring of Helheim, it debuffs your physical defense, so with Aerith you have to keep healing to nullify that debuff. Alright, so I have almost Titan. Alright, let's do this. And I know I have lost my magic attack buff, but it's no problem, because you don't want to deplete this force gauge too fast. And I'm not sure how it looks like with a physical DPS, but with Sephiroth I can't really debuff it. If I really wanted to, sure I could, but that continuous DPS, it ensures that I am not letting this gauge to fill up, but I don't risk breaking it too soon, because after you break it, then Odin will buff his physical attack before doing some Tetsuka, and that will kill you. At least my team, because my stats are very close here. But here on those attacks, just keep healing, because very soon Odin will start charging. Okay, and that's Aerith. That's perfect for me. That's exactly what I wanted. But make sure that Odin's physical attack is debuffed here. So just one attack with Cloud. And if Aerith gets targets, that's also good, because you get extra AEB from Baharod. But I also see the buff is expiring. So let's prepare this. Okay, now buff is... magic attack is active now, the buff. And I also will have to reapply Odin, that exploit weakness. Okay, still stuck. Okay, now here. It's a little bit annoying how Odin stops one of your characters, especially when it's the duration is much longer than the stop that we have with Sid. But at least with Sephiroth I really don't have that DPS issue where I would break this gauge too quickly. Oh, I misclicked. But here, just make sure that physical attack is debuffed, so Buster Sword is the only way for me to apply a high potency debuff here. And with Aerith, just continue doing the same thing. I'm actually going to use another Genji here, but that's extra DPS buff here. Yes, now I will need it. Okay, one more Baharot. Now I'm just unleashing everything I have because I have to get Odin, or the Titan summon, and that actually should be fine here. Yeah, let's just do this. It is pretty close. But at least I know that Titan will take care of this. But this will not be possible anymore on higher floors. At least I'm lacking the DPS on level 16. Sorry, 17. 16 was very close. Because those levels, the difficulty, so the boss will hit a little bit harder and will have a little bit of HP more than on this level, but then level 17 is a significant increase in HP, so I am unable to do this. But I think with physical earth DPS with Yuffie it would be much easier, and the only thing I can't judge is the difference between Yuffie as physical DPS and her depleting that earth gauge, so I can't really judge that, but that's exactly how the bar looks like. And it would look like with Anju and Yuffie. Just the same moves, same phases, and just try to make sure that you don't break that gauge too quickly. Otherwise you might die from Zantetsuken, buffed Zantetsuken, but yeah, it's quite tough. But I hope you find my guide helpful, and I'm sorry, I really don't have anything better for this battle. But yeah, so good luck on your own clear. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.